Yo, we back with another video. So today we're actually going to be talking about and showcasing the Chapter 5, Episode 8 story quest, right? So essentially we're going to be discussing what kind of characters you want to use. Obviously, we're going to be using free-to-play accessible characters as well as memories. And then we'll kind of talk about what the character does, the character as in the boss. And we'll, kind of obviously showcase it a little bit and go right through it so that way you guys can actually tackle it yourself when you start the game or whenever you decide to actually, get to this stage, you're good to go, right? So let's get right into it. So if you couldn't tell already, we here on screen we have Hanami. Just obviously judging based off of it, it says that Hanami is weak to yellow, so you're gonna want to use a yellow carry to do as much damage as possible to the enemy. That's gonna be like the main important one. And then on top of that, you don't really do that much damage with blue characters, and you definitely will take more damage from Hanami as well for using blue characters. There is a little bit of a little interaction with the character regarding Gojo, which I'll get to in a bit. But let's actually talk about what she does every single turn and all that stuff, right? So there's only one wave, and it's only going to be Hanami, so you don't have to worry about any mobs or anything. It's purely just Hanami. So every 5 turns, she will do an all-out attack. It's going to do a lot of damage. That's the one that you're going to have to want to be weary for. On top of that, majority of the time, she's going to do 2 attacks every single turn. So keep that in mind when you are trying to survive and manage your turns to defeat the boss. On top of that, Hanami recovers HP every single turn. So you want to be quick and you can't really stall too much. You still want to out DPS the amount of heals they're doing. They increase their own special attack gauge, so as time goes on, eventually they'll be able to do their special attack, and that's definitely not going to be the best case scenario for you. Hanami, on top of that, has the domain expansion. One thing to note about this, I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but when she uses her domain expansion, she can hit Gojo, and if you haven't noticed already, or if you haven't picked up on it, Gojo is blue type, so he is weak to Hanami, basically. So Hanami could essentially deal damage to him and actually cook him. So again, you're probably going to want to try to run some kind of mono yellow, like team if possible. But if not, obviously I'm going to give you a team that's very well rounded and focusing as your yellow as your main DPS. On top of that, Hanami decreases damage dealt to her, so you just got to keep that in mind as well. And then decreases your curse energy recovery. So over time, it's going to be very difficult to actually continuously use your curse skills. So you're just going to want to try to, stack up and get your ultimate gauge, because that's going to be the most important thing that's going to help you get past this, right? Now, let's get into the characters and teams that we're going to be using, and then I'll kind of talk about some alternatives and stuff like that. So let's get to it. Right, so here we have our team setup. Essentially, this is going to be the free-to-play team that you're going to be able to use to actually fight Hanami. Now, one thing I do want to note, and I'm pretty sure you've noticed, I do not have any memories equipped. I've already tested this team previously. We can basically use this team essentially without any memories and still be able to complete the stage. So overall, that's very good, because that means when you are actually building and going through the story, you won't have too much difficulties, because all you have to do is really equip memories, and that will give you an even better chance, right? This is basically your base standard. Like if you're running into this and just straight head on without any memories, you're still going to be able to complete it with this despite not having the memories. So very good. Of course, there is some notable mentions for memories that you can use. So there's quite a few of them. So for example, you have this one. This memory right here is very nice. Basically, when you activate your command or special skill with this memory, it increases the damage dealt by all allies by 15% for 2 turns. Overall, pretty good. And then once per battle, when the equipped character's HP falls below 50%, restores 20 cursed energy. So you'll be able to get cursed energy despite Hanami obviously decreasing your cursed energy recovery, and on top of that, be able to provide increased damage dealt to your team, right? So overall, pretty good. Very solid, especially for an SR memory. Then you have other memories like, where is it? Let me see if I can find it. This one, for example. This one is actually very nice as well. So essentially what this one does is, when you use this skill, increases Jujutsu damage by 65% for 1 turn, right? Or 1 action. And then when the character defeats an enemy, it restores 10 cursed energy points. So essentially, even though you're not going to be having any cursed energy recovery, you'll still be able to get cursed energy back. Not that it matters in this scenario because there's only one enemy, but you're able to increase your Jujutsu damage by 65%. So you'll basically be using it when you go in for the kill. So it's very good, and you could be using this one as well. There's quite a few different options that you can use to actually get going, right? I just figured I'd mention a few of them just in case, right? This one is also nice, increasing all allies' damage by 35% for one action or one turn. And then at the beginning of battle, it also recovers 200 points of the character's special gauge. Preferably, you might want to use this on the character that you want to get their ultimate gauge, like their ultimate off immediately. So having it on them, and then this is also a supportive kind of recollection, is very nice. And then we have, let me see if I can find it because I don't think I use it too often, but it is pretty decent. It's probably all the way at the bottom, not even gonna lie. Right, so the other one is this one. This one recovers 250 points in special gauge. Characters lose 15% of their HP in return. And then when the character leaves the front line, dies, or leaves, all allies recover HP, and then all allies recover 10 cursed energy points, and then all allies deal 10% more damage, right? So overall, it's another supportive kind of thing. Like, obviously, you lose some HP, but realistically, if you think about it, you losing 15% HP isn't really the end of the world. And for what it gives, it's pretty good because you can get your ultimate gauge quicker, and then on top of that, you can increase the damage that you deal, especially if one of your allies die, right? So essentially, you still are getting some bonuses out of it, even though it has a drawback, right? So yeah, I just wanted to talk about those because those are some notable mentions of memories. But basically, what we're going over today, we do not need any memories. We can do it straight-handed like this. One thing I also want to talk about before we actually start getting into it is you do not have to use Todo. There's actually other options. For example, if you have Nobara, you can use Nobara. And this is not this Nobara. Whoops. You can use this Nobara. This is the yellow Nobara. She will be at the release of the game, of course. So you can do this. Boom. Use this Nobara. Cook everybody. It will be very easy with this Nobara. And then, of course, if you do not have Nobara, then your next option would be Inumaki. But yeah, basically there is a yellow Inumaki, and you could use him, right? So, for example, if you're trying to beat it quick and you have the team setup that I just set up for you right here, and if you have Nobara, Nobara is going to be the best yellow carry for you. And if not, then your alternative is Inumaki. And then if you also don't have Inumaki, then last but not least, you would use Todo, right? So let's go right into the fight and actually get it started, right? We have all these characters. We have Inumaki for basically providing survivability for your team. Same with Yuki. And then you have Ieri, who's also going to be healing your team and also providing basically sustain. And then you'll have Todo, who's going to basically be your carry and do all the damage and, you know, beat the crap out of Hanami. And then you have Saki in the background, just in case. This is just your supporting character. When she pops in, then you could use her. Just a fair option, you know what I'm saying? So let's get right into it. Right, so as you can see, she already gave herself the buff, so she's going to be recovering HP every turn. So what we do here is I like to go with Inumaki's defense, like damage reduction thing for the entire team. So very nice. We start off with that. Kind of the same for Yuki, right? Because these do last quite a few turns. This one lasts 3 turns, and this one lasts roughly 2 turns. So I usually just pair these two up, and then I kind of cycle back to them after like 2 turns. Then we're just going to do this, right? And then we're going to buff. So we'll do normal attacks. We'll do normal attacks. We'll do normal attacks. We'll do this one. Try to lower down the boss a little bit before we get to our ult. So essentially what we're playing to is just trying to stall for our ult, but also keep being weary of their special gauge at the same time. So Do it one more time. His buff is still up currently, so we're not going to use it. We're just going to normal attack. Then we are going to normal attack once again. And we're going to use his third skill again. As you can see, about to use her special attack. So what I like to do is I normally just guard my tank. I mean, not my tank, excuse me, my DPS, because obviously I need him alive. Then after that, I'll debuff him one more time before heading on in with a buff. I believe with this buff I should have enough special attack. And yeah, we should be able to live easily. And then we'll just basically use all of our skills, right? With all our ults, we should be able to finish off the boss and we should be good to go. Right? Boom. Alright, so we didn't finish off the boss just yet, but we are very close to the break status, so we should be fine. I don't think we have to worry too much about anything. We'll just attack normally, provide the, protection for the teams. Have this is a taunt. We're not going to do that right now. We're just going to try to do as much damage as we can. That way we can break the boss. And then on this turn, we'll finally break the boss and we should be good to go. And just like that, the boss is dead, right? So keep in mind, a lot of these characters that I am using they're not completely fully invested in. So as you can see, my Todo's only level 60, and he's basically my carry. On top of that, I haven't fully really invested into his skills. So if you really wanted to, you can level up his skills a little bit to have higher modifiers, which then in turn would mean that you'd have more damage. But of course, like I said, you do not really need to have Todo. You can use Nobara if you have her, and if you don't have Nobara, you can use Inumaki. But if you don't have neither of them, then last but not least, you can use Todo because he is an SR character, so he's more accessed than the other two, and you could just run this stage with him, and you should be able to get it done. So yeah, other than that, it's pretty simple. I kind of explained already kind of how the boss works, this function of the stage, and I gave you the free-to-play options, even mentioned some of the memories as well, so that way if you really wanted to, you can equip memories, right? You can upgrade skills, and you should be able to beat the stage even if you don't have Nobara or Inumaki, right? Just with Todo. So yep, this is basically the free-to-play guide, and yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.